Hi guys, hello boys and girls, hello my dear fellow foreign English speakers, and welcome back to Robbie's English Comedy video blog. In today's blog, I'm going to bring you solid proof, guys, that spoken English self-practice works indeed. And I'm doing that in case you have a slight doubt about its efficiency, in case you're thinking, well, maybe Robbie is just bullshitting us, you know. I'm going to give you a good few screenshots from my YouTube channel and my blog, where people are commenting and saying that spoken English self-practice has done wonders to their fluency and that it works. And on some occasions, these people have been actually doing that even before they got to know my blog and my advice. So it just goes to show, guys, that the whole concept of speaking with yourself in order to improve your fluency is out there. People are doing that. It's just that on a lot of occasions people would be uncomfortable about it. They would be fearing of being perceived as weirdos or something, you know. But I hope that over the years, ever since I've been sending this message out to you guys, that it's totally normal to do spoken English self-practice in order to improve your fluency, right? I hope that over the years this message has reached thousands upon thousands of foreigners and that people are doing that in huge numbers, right? So this is the first comment, and obviously it's too long to be read the whole comment, right? But you can read the whole comment in my blog post right here. You can click here. It's going to take you to the article on my blog where you can read all those comments, right? Full comments, but I'm just going to read an excerpt from the comment. And this is a Japanese lady, and as a matter of fact, she has her own YouTube channel, right? So I just read your blogs about the importance of self-practice and recording your speaking. I totally agree with you. That's actually how I was able to improve my speaking fluency, and I've been doing it for a month now, right? So at that moment, it was 8 months ago. She had been doing that for a month, so obviously it's been 9 months right now ever since she's doing that, okay? And you can head over to her YouTube channel by clicking on this link right here in the video, and you can clearly see that she's recording videos of herself being in different locations in Japan and commenting on things, and that's how she improves her spoken English, and it works. And why wouldn't it work, right? Because what you do is you practice the skill, and the skill being your ability to speak in English, right? And what she says is, I have my own YouTube channel, and you can see many of my videos where I'm speaking to my iPhone while killing time or driving. At first, I felt a bit awkward about my daily routine of this because I thought I was not talking about any specific topics that would impress people who might be listening to it. But soon I realized that any topic would do as long as I can, as long as it can be my good practice. I stopped making myself sound better that I really was. I guess what she means is she tried to force her pronunciation to be better, but then she stopped doing that, so she just spoke the way she felt comfortable. And I began to feel much better and comfortable to speak in English, you see, and it works. And just like I said, check out her YouTube channel, and you'll see that she's been doing that for a good while now, just like I said, 9 months, and it works. Why wouldn't it, right? Then move on to the next comment. And yeah, what this person is saying, I'm the same thing with, I sometimes catch myself speaking with myself in order to improve my way of speaking. It's not bad, it's a good way. Self-practice improves a lot than reading, writing, and so on, right? Even me, I'm so addicted with this, I'm stuck with self-practice English, especially when I listen to good American music or even a movie. After that, I try to mimic what I've just seen, which is a great point that person is making, right? His name is Jason, and this is brilliant. This is what I've been suggesting you do, guys. I've been writing about that on my blogs, English Harmony, Accent Adventure as well. Basically, you consume a lot of passive comment. It's all passive input, which is not going to reflect directly into your ability to produce good English speech yourself. But when you go back to what you've just heard or seen and try to mimic what you've heard, that's what matters, that's what counts, that's what directly contributes to your ability to speak, okay? And he says, I sometimes become like a crazy one, but I ain't really a crazy one. I just want to make my English fluent and more fluent, which is true. You know, you're not crazy. None of us are crazy. This is all spoken English practice, right? Even now, as a matter of fact, I'm speaking into the camera, and I'm all by myself in my room. So you'd think I'm an idiot, I'm a lunatic, right? But it's not the case, because there's thousands upon thousands of YouTubers who record their videos and they publish them on YouTube. So how is just doing spoken English practice with yourself any difference from speaking in a camcorder? It's pretty much the same thing. You just talk about something. You practice your fluency, right? And let's move on to the next comment. Enrico, I like doing that a lot. For example, when I'm reaching a place by walking and I pretend to have a conversation on the phone so the people who hear me won't think it's weird. LOL, laugh out loud. That's a great point actually you made there, Enrico. And for instance, when I'm going for walks with my dog typically, I would be speaking with myself as well. But I do it either early in the morning or late at night, so there's nobody really to hear me speak. There was one occasion when somebody heard me speak and I didn't see that person, but I don't really care about it. But that's a good way of concealing the fact that you're speaking with yourself. Pretend you're on the phone. Okay, so thanks for the contribution, Enrico. Move on to the next one. There's plenty of comments to mention here. So it's the second time that I see your videos, and I find this idea about speaking with yourself very useful. I had been doing this by myself, but trying to think crazy and funny ideas, because the more funny and crazy an idea is, the more you'll remember it, because the brain remembers better funny and crazy ideas. Okay? Well, I suppose that person, Miguel is his name, provides a fair point, okay? Makes a fair point. That's the proper way of saying it in English. You see, I just made a mistake. I said provides a fair point, which is not really the proper English collocation, but I'm not afraid of making mistakes, because that's the only way you can improve. You say something, then you catch yourself making a mistake, self-correct, right? And that's what it's all about, guys. Improvising, practicing, doing it every day of the week. And yeah, he says, think about crazy and funny ideas. I suppose what he says is try not to be talking about the same things all over and over again. Just try to see something more, something else that's to it, right? Look outside the box. Try to think of something different every day, something crazy, something funny, and that's what's going to make your spoken English practice, what's the word? More entertaining for yourself, right? It's going to provide you extra motivation to keep doing it every day of the week. Let's move on to the next comments. Yes, it definitely works. I often speak with myself in English, trying to use some new phrases I learned. I realize that this method works better when you imagine yourself involved in a conversation with English friends talking about this topic that you are really interested in. And that's a very good point. Yes, it's very great if you can imagine yourself being in that situation in real life. Because what you're doing is you're creating associations between the speech and an actual real life situation, and it's these associations that will enable you to use those same phrases and sentences and new vocabulary words when you find yourself in that particular situation in real life. So it's going to automatically bring back all those moments when you've done the spoken English self-practice, and it's going to make it so much easier, right? So that's a very fair point. And what he says, it's, yeah, Luke, he says, and then you imagine that situation, you try your hardest to persuade your friend that you're right. So basically it's like some sort of a debate or something. So you need to be fluent and choose the right words to do that efficiently, right? And that's very good. And that way you identify what your weak points are. Basically when you realize that there are certain things you can't really say, that forces you in turn to look up certain words maybe and see how this or that particular thing is better said. And that's a very good point. That's where the self-correction steps in, and that's perfect. And this actually highlights one of the biggest benefits of spoken English self-practice. If you were to speak that way in real life with real people, it just wouldn't work, because you can't try out, test new things. You can't be constantly self-correcting. When you do spoken English self-practice and there's no one to hear you, you can do all that. You can practice for the real conversation. Okay? That's a very fair point. Another comment here. Howdy, Robbie. Sergey, must be a Russian guy. Thank you again for your English Harmony. It really works. Well, I suppose that this is my customer. He's trying out the English Harmony system, and it works, and obviously it does, because what it does is actually it forces you to use your mouth. It forces you to speak, because it's all about spoken English practicing. There's loads of speech exercising lessons where you are forced to repeat after the voice, and you have to use those sentences, you have to memorize them, repeat them all over and over and over again, use them in dialogues and such, and it forces you to speak, and it works. It's the same way. If you don't really get the idea of spoken English self-practicing, you become my customer, you try out the English Harmony system, which in turn forces you to do the spoken English practicing, right? So one way or another, you will be led to the right path. That's what I'm doing here on EnglishHarmony.com. And I often use your phrases, and I have success in chatting with native speakers in the US and UK. I love your method and your tips. You said, talk to yourself, and I started doing it. In a few weeks, I realized that I can do it. And then in a couple of months, I realized that I can think in English. So you see, guys, it works. It works wonders, and there's no reason why it wouldn't. Is there another comment? Yep, I really appreciate all the stuff you have posted. You can't even imagine how much you helped me. As I said before, I'm in Germany, and I'm an Erasmus student. Today something happened which really made me feel happy. I was talking to my classmate who is Chinese, and he asked me if I was studying in the United States. I was a bit surprised. I said no, and he told me that I thought so because your English is very good. At that moment, all of a sudden, I got confidence, which I had needed for years. From that moment on, I started thinking that I can be a fluent English speaker. So, well, this guy is talking about probably one of my confidence-related advices, where I'm talking about the importance of the confidence factor, that it's all in your head. At the moment you start believing in your capabilities, that's when you can actually start becoming a truly fluent English speaker. Because it doesn't matter how well you can speak, but if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to end up making a lot of mistakes, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You will believe that you're a bad English speaker, that your fluency sucks, and it's a downward spiral. Your fluency will worsen over time, and you will not be able to get out of that hole that you dug yourself into, so to speak. Okay, so it's all about getting that confidence in yourself. That's the starting point. You have to believe, you have to have that utter belief in yourself as an English speaker, and that's a good place to start. And that's what this guy is talking about. But anyway, oh no, in the very end, he actually says, I've been recording videos with myself and started the self-practice, as you said. It really contributed a lot for my spoken English. So just like you just witnessed, it is, after all about the spoken English practice and its efficiency, and it works. And if you need more proof, well, I could get more comments like that for you guys. It's just that I have other ideas for my blog, other plans for videos and articles. So let this suffice, and I hope that it's convinced the most stubborn of you guys who refuse to believe that spoken English practice works. I hope that this is finally convinced you guys that it does work, and there's no reason why it wouldn't work. Basically, you practice your fluency, you use your mouth, and that's how you improve your English fluency and your spoken English. All right? So, if you have any questions, obviously, publish them in this comment section below, and chat to you soon, and bye-bye.